Special thanks to Patreon supporter BrickBros 2016 for making this video possible. Before we go ahead and jump into the tutorial, I want to go ahead and give a big shout out to this video's sponsor. Big shout out to the Coldest Water. These guys have made an amazing branded Coldest Water bottle. It is amazing. For those of you guys that don't know, I live in Tucson, Arizona. It gets extremely hot. In the past month, it's been starting to get up in there into the high 90s. I work on the outside a lot. I work in hot conditions and stuff like that, and this water bottle has kept my water cold the whole time. I've woken up with ice still in my water bottle after filling it the day before. It is phenomenal. I don't know what they do, whatever, but this thing works so good, and I wouldn't advertise a product if I wasn't actually fully confident in it. This water bottle was sent to me for free by them, which is really cool. They even went ahead and engraved it with my YouTube channel as well, but I'm actually probably going to end up picking up an even bigger one because I just love this product so much. Definitely recommend checking it out, guys. It's starting to get into summer. A lot of you guys might be looking for water bottles, going back to school. You know, nobody likes water that's hot. Everybody likes their water cool, and the Coldest water bottle does just that. It keeps your water cold for long periods of time, and the best thing about it is that it has a year-long warranty where if you buy it, you don't like it, you can return within a year and get your money back. But this thing is built to last. It's strong, durable. I've dropped it a couple times, and this thing has no signs of being torn up. Compared to Hydro Flask and all those other Yetis and stuff like that, this thing blows them out of the water in its insulation capabilities and also its durability, which my Hydro Flask I had before was dropped a couple times and had multiple dents and stuff like that, and this thing has held up just fine. Definitely recommend checking them out. Their product links are going to be down in the description. They do a weekly giveaway that you can enter, so you can try to get one of these bottles for free. And as well as if you do want to support the channel and you are interested in picking yourself up a Coldest Water, you can go ahead and use my affiliate link and use code GAR10 for 10% off your order. So definitely recommend checking out. It supports the channel, and you guys get a really cool water bottle and one that's going to last you a very long time. So definitely recommend checking them out. Again, a big thanks to Coldest Water for making this video, or sponsoring this video. And with that, let's go ahead and move on with the rest of the video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's CareTuber here, bringing you another Minecraft Cold War vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going ahead and building the Westland Wessex HC.2. The Westland Wessex is a British-built turbine-powered development of the Sikorsky H-34. It was developed and produced under license by Westland Aircraft, later Westland Helicopters. One of the main changes from Sikorsky's H-34 was the replacement of the piston engine power plant with a turboshaft engine. Early models were powered by a single Napier Gazelle engine, which later builds used a pair of de Havilland Gnome engines. The Wessex was initially produced for the Royal Navy and later for the Royal Air Force. A limited number of civilian aircraft were also produced, as well as some export sales. The Wessex operated as an anti-submarine warfare and utility helicopter. It is perhaps best recognized for its use as a search and rescue helicopter. The type entered operational service in 1961 and had a service life in excess of 40 years before being retired in Britain. So yeah, the Westland Wessex here, a very interesting aircraft, basically based off of, or really similar to that of the H-34. In the fact that it has a really weird, unique design with the pilots actually mounted kind of in an upward type position and the engine kind of located in the nose. So kind of a weird design for this aircraft, but a really cool one nonetheless, and a cool aircraft to add to our British Modern Warfare / Cold War section. Before we go and take a look at the build, I want to go and give special thanks to Patreon supporter BrickBros 2016 for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more, you guys already do, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so earn a video request to your choosing. Really help support the work I do on my channel, and is obviously greatly appreciated, so feel free to check it out again if you're interested, and links are always in the video descriptions. With that though, let's go and take a look here at the helicopter. Now the helicopter here, we do have both a landed and in-flight version. One thing that is cool about this helicopter in particular is that the landing gear does not retract. So basically the landing gear will stick down and you can have whatever version you guys want just based off the position you place it. So that makes it a lot easier for us. But yeah, that's pretty cool. The in-flight version, as you can see here, we have the rotors kind of straight out, kind of an in-flight configuration. The one landed has the kind of drooped rotors. This configuration here for the Westland Wessex is also the search and rescue version, so it's got a red tipped nose and a red stripe down the kind of center of the tail section there, which was kind of indicating of a search and rescue helicopter. As you can see on the side here, we do have the door that would open up and also the winch here to you know, be able to rescue or perform its rescue operations. As we work our way back, we have the US or the RAF Randall on the side of the aircraft, and as we work our way back further, we have the kind of the designation on the tail number, the tail itself, and the rotor and all that stuff. But yeah, overall, really nice looking helicopter. I think we got the iconic kind of green and gray color scheme on this helicopter. But yeah, really love the way it came out. I think it looks really nice, and it's gonna be an awesome design to add to any of your you know, Modern Warfare or Cold War type scenarios, especially for your British military. But anyways, that's it for this overview. Let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our first layer here, we're going ahead and start with layer 2. Layer 2 gives us a better basis to kind of start the aircraft, and is kind of all around better layer to start from compared to layer 1, which is kind of just adding miscellaneous little pieces and stuff like that to the bottom of the aircraft. Anyways, before we go ahead and get started, I want to mention a quick thing. If you're completely new to my aircraft tutorials, the way I like to structure these tutorials, I like to do half on camera, half off. What this means is rebuilding the entire, basically, centerline of the aircraft and the entire right side. As you can see with the model in front of us, we have the left side already built, and this is how the tutorial is going to kind of be structured. If there's any parts that are asymmetrical, which there are a few parts, then I will be sure to explain in detail what's different and what goes on which side. But anyways, that right there is going to kind of cover basically that, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing to cover is if you do want to build this landed, you're going to want to build layer 2 here, 1 block total off the ground. So you can see here in the front, we have 1 block of space between that and ground level. Best thing about this is both the in-flight and landed version will sit basically the same way, with the wheels touching the ground, just due to the way the actual aircraft is structured. If you're building this in flight, you can build this how you want, just make sure you keep in mind the height limit. Anyways, let's go and get started. First thing we want to do is we want to place down a red shulker box on its side like so. Going back from that red shulker box, we're going to place down 2 red concrete blocks, followed by a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 stone top slabs, a stone upside down stair, a stone full block, another stone upside down stair, and then we want to place down 1, 2, and 3 stone top slabs back. Continuing our center line, we're going to go and then skip a space. We're going to go then place down an end rod coming off that block. We're going to go back 1, 2, 3 blocks, and we want to go and then place down an end rod that comes down like this. And then go back from the end rod, we're going to go and count 1, 2 spaces, and we're going to place down a stone upside down stair, like so, with a lever coming off the back of the stone upside down stair, like so. We can then delete any of these blocks that we placed here, as we do not need those, and we should have something that looks like this here from the side for our center line. With that complete, go ahead and move into the sides. Start on the front here, we're going to place down a brick upside down stair coming off the shulker box, a red concrete block back, and another brick upside down stair. We then want to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stone top slabs, a stone upside down stair, stone top slab, and then 1 and 2 iron trapdoors back. After we have that done, going to the side here, we're going to place down a skeleton skull coming off this iron trapdoor here, and then coming off the skeleton skull, we're going to place down an end rod like this back, and then going forward, we'll place down 1, 2, and 3 end rods going forward, followed by a skeleton skull, and another end rod like that coming off the skeleton skull. Once we have that complete there, we want to go and then place down a polished andesite upside down stair to the side here. So upside down stair like that. And we then want to go ahead and place down a block that comes off this polished andesite block like that at an angle. And we're going to then place down a skeleton skull right there coming out that block. We can then delete this block. And we're going to then go diagonal from this skeleton skull with a dark oak fence post like so. And then come off the side of the fence post, we're going to place down a polished black stone stair and an air stair coming off that stair like that going toward the front. And after we have that all done, that's pretty much all we can do here for this layer in particular. And as you can see, this is what we should have so far for the basis. Looking at it from above here, this is what we should have. One thing I also want to show you guys how to do real quick is the banners. So these banners here kind of give a better look to the wheel, at least in my opinion. So I'm going to show you guys how to do those, and after we have that complete, we'll pretty much be good to go with this layer. So let me go ahead and grab the materials we'll need, and I'll show you guys how to make these banners. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into making these banners. They're super simple to make. All we're going to need is 2 black banners, 2 light gray dye, and 4 black dye. We're going to go ahead and go into our loom and our black banners. We're going to place into our loom. We're going to place our light gray into the loom as well. We then want to go and place down a light gray line on the left side vertically for our first banner, and then a line on the right side here vertically for our second banner. Each one of these banners is going to go ahead and go back into our loom, and we're going to go do a line across the top horizontally, and a line across the bottom here with our black dye to go ahead and finish this banner. And we're going to do the same thing here with our second banner. So line across the bottom, and line across the top. And we get two banners that look just like this. These banners here, we're just going to go to the sides here of these polished black stone stairs. And we're just going to place down two of those banners there with the gray facing toward each other like that to go ahead and kind of highlight our wheels a little bit better. Anyways, that right there is going to complete what we have there for layer 2. And with that, we're going to go and move into layer number 1. Alright guys, moving into layer 1. For layer 1, what we're going to do first to start with is we're going to be going ahead and go into this bottom of the nose here. We're going to place down a K-Shwood trapdoor on this red concrete block, and then a lever coming off this red shulker box like that, facing toward the front, like so. After we have that done, going ahead and going back here to our wheels, we're going to place down two polished black stone stairs underneath these two wheels like so, followed by a polished andesite top side coming off this first stair here, and then a skeleton skull like that coming off the second one. Over here on this side, we're going to go and do the same exact thing. So an upside down stair here, upside down stair, a polished andesite top side here, and then a skeleton skull coming off the side of that stair just like that. After that's all complete there, that is going to basically wrap it up for that section. And we're going to move back here to our rear. We're going to place down a block of coal going down from the stair at an angle like so, and then a stone button on both sides of that block of coal. Lastly, one thing we can go ahead and do now that we have this top side here for the landing gear is we can place down a lever like this that's going to be flicked toward the skeleton skull. So just like this on both sides here, like that for the landing gear. And after we have that all complete there, that is going to wrap up what we have there for layer number 1, sorry. And with that, let's go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 3. Alright guys, go ahead and move into our next layer here. We have layer number 3. For layer 3 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a red concrete block on top of this red shulker box, followed by a red stained glass pane coming off that red concrete block toward the front. Going back from this block, we're going to place down another red concrete block, and then we want to take our stone blocks and do a long row of stone blocks going all the way back to make a total of a row of 20. After we have that done, we're going to go to the bottom here of this stone block here, place down a lever so it connects up with the end rod, just like that. After that's done, we then want to place down two red concrete blocks after that row of 20 of stone blocks, and then we're going to place down an additional two stone blocks like this back. On the bottom of this second stone block here, we're going to place down a lever, flick it toward the stone stair like that. After that, we're going to place down a stone top slab on both sides here, a dark oak wood sign, like so. We're going to go then place down a stone brick upside down stair, and after the stone brick upside down stair, we're going to place down three stone blocks back. Going ahead and go into our first stone block, we're going to place down two end rods to the side here. We're going to go and then grab ourselves a barrier block, and we want to place down two barrier blocks coming off this end rod right here. And on both sides of the first barrier block, we're going to place down a stone button like this to both sides. After that's all complete, we're going to go ahead and go to the front here and start working our way to the sides. Now, to begin with, we're going to go from this red stained glass pane, we're going to place down one more to the side, followed by 1 and 2 red concrete blocks back. And then we want to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 stone blocks back. Now this right here depends on what side you're working on. So over here on the right side, we're going to be going ahead and taking our polished andesite. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 polished andesite blocks. Over here on the left side, however, we're going to be going ahead and placing down 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone blocks. So kind of a difference there in the both sides. Then once we get to this point here on both sides, we're going to go ahead and then go back 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stone blocks. So it should overhang past this iron trapdoor by 1. Switching back to our andesite walls here, we're going to place down a row of 1 and 2 andesite walls, 1 and 2 light gray stained glass panes, 2 red stained glass panes, and then a light gray stained glass pane like that on the side there. After we have that done, for some of the detailing here on the side, over here on the left side of the aircraft, we're going to go to our second from last stone block in this row on the outer side. We're going to place down 1 and 2 birchwood buttons, skip a space, and then another 2 birchwood buttons like so. Over here on the other side, however, we're going to place down 2 birchwood buttons here, and we're going to go then skip a space or skip 2 spaces back, and we're going to go then place down another 2 birchwood buttons here. So these ones should be lined up with these ones here on the opposite side. So again, this is what the left side here should look like. We also want to go ahead and skip 2 spaces from these birchwood buttons going forward, and we're going to place down a polished black stone button right here in this location. So again, that's what the left side looks like there for the button placement, and then over here on the right side, this is what it looks like over here. After we get to this point here, we then want to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood fence gate coming off this stone block, and that's going to be the same thing there on both sides. We then want to place down a placeholder block right here, coming off that block, and we're going to then place down a skeleton skull, coming off the side of the block like so, and we'll then delete the block, so we have something that looks like that there for those skeleton skulls. After that's done, we then want to go ahead and grab our light gray stained glass panes, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panes going forward, and then we're going to place down 1 and 2 red stained glass panes like that after that. So once we have that done, that's going to basically wrap up what we have here for layer 3. Here's what it looks like from up above here with the layer complete. So as you can see, the difference there on the right side, make sure to pay close attention to that as we progress for future layers. But yeah, that right there is going to do it for layer 3, and let's go ahead and move on to layer number 4. Alright guys, go ahead and move into our next layer here. We have layer number 4. For layer 4, to go ahead and get started here, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished blackstone stair on top of this red concrete block here in the front. And then going back from that stair, we want to go ahead and then place down a row of stone. So in total, this row of stone is going to go all the way back, a total of 21 blocks for that polished blackstone stair. After that, we're going to go then place down 2 red concrete blocks, followed by 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone blocks back, 2 coal ore blocks, 2 stone blocks, and then a lever here on the very end, like so. After that, going ahead and moving to our cabling here, we want to go ahead and start off by going ahead and placing down a stone button. That's going to be going ahead and going on top of this barrier block here. We're going to then place down 1, 2, and 3 barrier blocks forward, a stone button on both sides of this first one here, and we're going to leave the R2 alone for right now. After we have that all done, going ahead and moving back up to the front here, we're going to place down a polished blackstone stair, or corner stair coming off this stair here, followed by a red concrete block back from that stair. We're going to go and then take our stone blocks, place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stone blocks back, 1 and 2 black concrete blocks, and then depending on what your side you're on the right side here, 1, 2, 3, 4 polished andesite blocks. Over here on the left side, we're going to place down a total of 4 stone blocks, and on the first stone block here, we're going to have a polished blackstone button. And then on the side of this first polished andesite block here, on the right side, we're going to place down a tripwire hook. We then want to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 stone blocks back after that, followed by 2 andesite walls, a light gray stained glass pane, 2 red stained glass panes, and then 2 light gray stained glass panes continuing back. And there should be a stone button only on the outside of this barrier block here, so my bad on that. So we can place down a light gray stained glass pane right there in that section there. Anyways, after we have that all done, go ahead and move it back up to the front here and out to the sides. We're going to go ahead and place down a light gray stained glass pane coming off this red concrete block, followed by a row of 2 of andesite walls, a light gray stained glass pane, a polished andesite full block, and then another light gray stained glass pane. Coming off that polished andesite full block, we're going to place down a polished andesite top slab, and we then want to grab a dark oak fence gate, place a fence gate come off the side of this black concrete block, and we're going to also place down a skeleton skull that will be up. So we're going to place a block on top of the skeleton skull from the previous layer, and then a skeleton skull come off the side of that block like that toward the aircraft like so. And so we should get something that looks like this here. Last thing we need to do is to go ahead and grab ourselves an item frame, and we're going to then grab ourselves a stack of iron bars. We're going to place down an item frame here on the side of this andesite wall, and then a iron bar in the item frame like that to go ahead and make the little vent there on the side. And with that all complete, that is going to basically wrap it up here for this layer. Again, taking a look at both sides here and a look at from above, this is what we should have. Be sure to pay close attention to the differences, basically these sections here. And with that though, that is going to wrap up what we have there for layer number 4. And with that, let's go ahead and move into layer number 5. And real quick before we move into layer 5, one thing I also want to add to the front here is a skeleton skull coming off the side of these polished blackstone corner stairs. So just make sure those are added onto the sides. But anyways, that right there is going to do it for layer 4. And now let's go ahead and move into layer number 5. Alright guys, so going ahead and move it into our next layer. But going ahead and move it into layer number 6. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5 to go ahead and get started with here, one thing I want to mention also, in case you haven't picked up on it yet, we're going to be going ahead and adding the camouflage at the end. So you can see here we do have this camouflage scheme, and I will be showing you guys kind of how to go about adding it to the aircraft at the end. We're going to be building this aircraft kind of in the solid gray that we've been doing and all that stuff. So in case you haven't picked up on that, that's kind of the reason why this aircraft is all gray for right now. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to place down a stone slab here on top of the stone block, and we're going to then place down 3 stone blocks back from that stone slab. At this point here, depending on what you want to do. If you want to leave some space here for the cockpit, you can go ahead and do so. However, for us, we're just going to go ahead and close this off by placing on a row of 4 of black concrete. You can leave this row of 4 left open as well if you do want to do a cockpit, but up to you guys. Anyways, after that row of 4 there, we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 stone blocks back, followed by 2 red concrete blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stone blocks back, and a side wall, and a light gray stained glass pane like that going back. After that, go ahead and go back up to the front here to place down a skeleton skull. Add a 45-degree angle there on top of that red concrete block, a smooth quartz stair back, smooth quartz full block, and then 1, 2, and 3 stone blocks back from that. We then want to place down a skeleton skull, come off the side of that quartz block, and then 1, 2, and 3 light gray stained glass panes like that along the side there, followed by a polished andesite slab on top of that top slab there to both sides. After that, we're going to go and then place down 2 black concrete blocks back, and then a dark oak fence post coming off the second black concrete block. We're going to go then place down on the right side here 1, 2, 3, 4 polished andesite blocks. Over here on the left side, we're going to place down 4 stone blocks. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 stone blocks going back, followed by 2 andesite walls, a light gray stained glass pane, 1, 2, 3 red stained glass panes, 1, 2 light gray stained glass panes like that going back. And then for our cabling here on the side, we're going to place down 2 stone buttons on top of these 2 barrier blocks here. And we then want to go ahead and go up and add an angle. So up and out to the side here. With our barrier block, we're going to place down a stone button here on both sides of that barrier block. And then we're going to go ahead and then place down an additional 2 barrier blocks coming off that going forward like so. So that should be like that there on both sides for the cabling. And once we get to this point here, all we have left really for this layer is to go ahead and do some banner work. Before we go ahead and get into it, I do want to mention that on the tail here, you will be wanting to go ahead and make a 2-letter kind of code. Now this could be based off a real helicopter, it could be based off whatever you want. But this code here usually stands for what base this helicopter is based out of, or squadron or something. I'm not really sure how the UK markings work, but I imagine they probably are somewhat similar to how the United States does it. But basically this is just the base identifier on the tail here. So you can go ahead and kind of make whatever you want. As you can see, my banners are green because the helicopter in this section for my example over there is green. So you can go ahead and make them gray, green, whatever you plan on having this section of the tail here. But just know that you want to make 2 banners here lettered. I'm not going to show you guys how to do those because you guys can make whatever banners you really want. But just kind of throwing that out there. And they're positioned right here on these 2 stone blocks. Same thing there on both sides. So those are pretty straightforward. However, I will be showing you guys how to make these little window banners here and also the RAF Randall there on the side of the aircraft. Anyways, let's go ahead and grab the materials we'll need and we'll go ahead and move into making those banners. Alright guys, so go ahead and move into making our banners for this layer. They're pretty straightforward and simple to do. To go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go into our loom and we want to go ahead and grab ourselves 2 black banners, 4 light gray dye, 2 blue banners, and 4 blue dye. Our first set of banners here for the windows, we're going to place down our black banners into our loom and our light gray dye. We're going to go ahead and do a line across the top here for both banners with light gray. And we want to go ahead and then take a line and we're going to place down a vertical line on the left side and then a vertical line over here on the right side. And that's going to create these 2 banners which we'll be using for the windows on the side of the aircraft. At this point here, we're going to go and move into the RAF Randall, which is going to be our first red banner, into our loom and then our blue dye. We then want to go and select the box with blue dye in the bottom left-hand corner. And then we're going to go and then select the top left-hand corner. That's going to create our first banner. And then our next red banner, we're going to do the opposite. So bottom right corner of blue dye and the top right corner like that of blue dye. We have both these banners made. And all we want to do here is to go ahead and go above these birchwood buttons. So on this section here, this side of the aircraft, we're going to go ahead and go above the birchwood buttons, place our 2 banners like so. Same thing right here above these 2 birchwood buttons. And place our 2 banners like that on the side there. And that's going to be over there on the left side of the aircraft. Over on the right side, same thing applies. Above the birchwood buttons, our banners right here. And above the birchwood buttons, banners right there. So just like that, pretty straightforward to go ahead and put those banners on. And that right there is going to do it for the windows there. After that, for the RAF logo, we're going to go ahead and place our 2 red banners on the sides of these 2 andesite walls. So this one here and this one here, so we want the red facing toward each other, just like that. And that's going to be the same thing there on both sides, like so, to go ahead and make that RAF Randall on the side of the aircraft. Anyways, with that all complete there, that is going to wrap up what we have there for layer number 5 for the build. And with that, we'll go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 6. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to go ahead and get started with, we're going to go to this second stone block here. We're going to place down a stone slab on top of it, followed by a stone full block back from it. We then want to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, and 4 black stained glass blocks going back, a black concrete block like this on the back here to close that off, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 stone blocks back, followed by 2 brick slabs, 2 polished black stone slabs, and then we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, and 4 polished black stone buttons. After that, on the tail here, a andesite wall, and then 2 red concrete blocks going back from that andesite wall like so. With that all complete, we then want to go ahead and go to our cabling here. And for this, we're going to place down 2 stone buttons here on top of those barrier blocks. So just like this. And we then want to go ahead and go up from this barrier block here, or up from this button here. We're going to place down a row of 3 barrier blocks going forward. And we're going to then place down 3 barrier buttons there along the side there. Like that for the cabling there. After we have that all done, we're going to go to the side here. And we're going to go ahead and start working our way out to the sides. Now, for this, what we want to do here is we're going to be going ahead and placing down a end rod on top of this smooth quartz stair, followed by a skeleton skull at a 45-degree angle here in the corners. And we then want to place down a stone stair and a stone corner stair. And after that, we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, and 3 black stained glass blocks back. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stone blocks back. Let me go and double check my count here. And it actually should be 9 blocks. So 9 blocks back, and then a stone stair, and then 1, 2, 3 skeleton skulls like that going toward the rear there. We then also want to go and take our end rods. We're going to place down 2 end rods like this coming off the side here of this stone block, so right here where the barrier blocks would kind of connect up to. Anyways, once we get to this point here, we then want to take our barrier blocks, and we're going to go ahead and go on the right side, and the right side only. We're going to place down 3 more barrier blocks going forward, and then another set of end rods coming off the side of the aircraft. And we're going to then take our stone buttons and place them down on the sides there of those barrier blocks. So just like down the sides there. And again, that's going to be on the right side only of the helicopter. At this point here, we do also have our kind of search and rescue kind of winch that we have on the side of the aircraft here, which we're going to kind of start to set up slightly. For this, we're going to place down a dark oak fence gate coming off this stone block, opened up toward it, and a fence gate on top on the side of this stone block also opened up toward it. We're going to go then skip a space from the middle here between them, place down a brick wall, and then a chain that comes down like that. Or actually, sorry, it's going to be a chain, and then a brick wall that comes down. So just like that there for our winch, which will be on the side of the helicopter. And again, that's going to be on the right side and the right side only. The left side here, we have nothing else going on for that layer. But you can see over here on the right side, we have this winch that we are kind of starting to set up. Anyways, that right there is going to complete what we have there for layer number 6. Taking a look at from above, this is what we should have here for this layer. Anyways, with that complete, that's going to wrap up layer 6. Let's move on to layer number 7. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we're moving into layer 7. For layer 7 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a black stained glass block on top of this one here, and then go back from it, we're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 more blocks. You have a row of 4 black stained glass blocks. We're going to go ahead and place down a black concrete block, followed by a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stone blocks back. We're going to go ahead and place down a polished black stone block, polished black stone stair, polished black stone slab, and then a iron trap door, skip a space, and then a polished black stone wall like that after that iron trap door. Once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone slab on top of this andesite wall here, and then 1 and 2 stone blocks back, followed by an andesite wall like that on the very end there. Coming off this stone slab here, we're going to place down 1 and 2 more stone slabs out to both sides, and then we're going to go and move back up to the front and start working our way out to the sides here. We're going to start off by going ahead and going to the side of this black stained glass block. We're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane, followed by 1, 2, and 3 black stained glass blocks back from it. We then want to place down a row of 1, 2, and 3 stone blocks back, followed by 1, 2, and 3 andesite walls, a polished black stone stair, polished black stone corner stair, and then a wither skeleton skull here at a very slight angle, just like that on the side there. And after we have that all done there, we also want to go and go to the sides here of these 2 stone blocks. So right here, actually on the right, or sorry, on the left side only, we're going to place down 2 of our birchwood buttons right there on the side of those 2 stone blocks. On the right side here, we do want to do something a little bit different. Now we do have our winch here, so we're going to be going ahead and basically putting this in on the side here. For this, so what we want to do for the winch here is we're going to be going ahead and placing down a block that's going to come off these fence posts. So we go ahead and kind of grab a block we can easily tell apart. That kind of comes off these fence posts like this, up and kind of out at an angle here. We're going to go ahead and place down a zombie head, come off those 2 blocks. delete those blocks, and then we're going to go and then place down an anvil on top of that chain right there, a dark oak sign on both sides of the anvil. So like this, and also on the front side like so. And this space right here in the middle, we're just going to very simply place down a birchwood button on that stone block like so. And right there is going to make the winch. The skeleton skulls here again can be skeleton skulls. Also, if we're just building it all solid gray, so let's go and keep those skeleton skulls like that. And that right there will pretty much do it for that. So that's it for pretty much this layer. We will be going ahead and moving into covering the banners here. So we do have some banners that we're going to be making for both sides of the aircraft. But yeah, that right there is going to basically do it for the main kind of structural components. And let's go ahead and move into making those banners. So these banners for this layer are pretty simple to make. We're just going to need 4 black banners and 4 light gray dye. We're going to go into our loom. We're going to place down each of our black banners into our loom and our light gray dye. For our first banners here, we're going to do the diagonal light gray line, like this going across. That's going to be our first banner, and we're going to go do the opposite line. So this line going this way, and that's going to make our first 2 banners. Our next 2 banners are going to be doing a vertical line on the left side and the vertical line on the right side. And with that, we have these 2 banners, or all 4 of these banners complete. Now the banners are going to be structured. We're going to put the diagonal line on this block right here, and we want to go and then place the vertical line on this block here. So as you can see, pretty straightforward design there, nothing too crazy for them. And same thing over here, this banner here, and this one right here. So you create a nice kind of look there for the window. We have some of the bracing, stuff like that for it. So anyways, that right there is going to basically do it for those banners for this layer. And with that, we'll go ahead and move into layer number 8. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 8. For layer 8, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go and place down a stone block on top of this black stained glass block here, so the second one. We're going to then go back from it with 2 black stained glass blocks, then 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone blocks, a stone slab, a daylight detector turned to night mode, and then a iron trapdoor coming off that daylight detector. After that, we want to go and then place down a light gray stained glass pane to the side here, and then 1 and 2 black stained glass blocks back, a stone block, and then 1, 2, and 3 andesite walls back like so, followed by a skeleton skull here at a slight angle on top of that andesite wall, just like that. After that's done, go ahead and move back to the tail here. We're going to place down an andesite wall on top of this stone block, and then we're just going to place down 2 more stone blocks that go back from the andesite wall like that to go ahead and do the tail. With that all complete, that's pretty much it for our structural components here for this layer. Pretty simple and straightforward. We're going to go ahead and now move into the banners that we'll be making for the side of the aircraft here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the materials we'll need, and I'll show you guys how to make the last 2 banners we'll need for this build. Alright guys, so to go ahead and make these banners, they're super simple to make. We're going to need 4 black banners and 6 light gray dye. For our first banners here, we're going to go and place our black banners into our loom, and we're going to go ahead and take all 4 black banners, and we're going to go do a line of light gray dye down the center. So we're going to just basically do this for all 4 banners. We then want to take 2 of these banners, we're going to place them back into our loom, and we're going to do a vertical line on the left side, and then a vertical line on the right side. So just like that, and we get these banners that look just like this. With that complete, we can go ahead and then take our banners. We're going to put this banner here, like so, and then the line for the center banner right there in that location like that. So we create this design here for the window, and we're going to go ahead and go over here to this side and do the same exact thing. So this banner here, and line for the center there. Technically, we only needed to make one of these lines for the center, so my bad on that one. But yeah, basically just like that on both sides there to go ahead and make those banners. Anyways, that right there is going to wrap up what we have there for layer number 8 for the build. And with that, we're going to move into our final layers here, which will basically cover getting the kind of rotors started and the tail complete. So with that, let's go ahead and move into our last final layers. Alright guys, so go ahead and move into our final layers. We have layers 9 through 11. For these layers to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a stone pressure plate on top of the stone block, and then we want to go ahead and go back from it 2 iron trapdoors. After those 2 iron trapdoors, we're going to then skip a space, and we're going to then place down a stone brick wall. And actually right here, we'll place down an iron trapdoor as well. So 3 iron trapdoors and then a stone brick wall. Actually, we can't place an iron trapdoor, so we're only 2 iron trapdoors and then the stone brick wall. So my bad on that. Over here on the right side only, we're going to place down a lever on this stone block. Coming off the lever, a skeleton skull, and then a end rod coming off that skeleton skull there toward the front like so. And we also want to place down a stone button on these 2 black stained glass blocks, just like that on both sides there. Now once we get to this point, we're going to go and grab ourselves a debug stick. So using the give command, we'll go ahead and give ourselves a debug stick, and we're going to be using this debug stick to basically make some kind of levers here to kind of design this rotor here. Now for this, we want to go ahead and just place down a block in these two corners here, and we're going to go and place down levers coming off those blocks like this to both sides here. We're going to go then take our debug stick, and we're going to go and select it, so we selected facing, and we're going to go and select this so that it is coming off the stone brick wall here. And we're just going to go do this for each one of our levers, like so, until they're all connected to that stone brick wall. And we can go and then delete these blocks here in the corners, and we're pretty much good to go. Now once we get to this point, we're going to go and then place down a stone brick block, which will go on top of this wall here. So just like that, going up. And we then, or sorry, actually it's going to be an anvil. So we're going to go ahead and grab an anvil, and that'll be coming off this stone brick block here on top. After that, we then want to go ahead and go off the stone, or off the anvil to both sides here, and we're going to place down a stone brick upstairs. So just like this all the way around. The anvil, like so. So we have something that looks just like this, and then after that, we're just going to go ahead and place down a stone brick top slab coming off the backs here of the stairs, like that. And after that's all done there, we then want to go to the top of this, and we're going to go and grab ourselves some buttons, some polished black stone slabs, some wither skeleton skulls, and some comparators. We're going to place down a wither skeleton skull on the center anvil, and we then want to place down a redstone comparator around it like so, and then coming off each one of these stone brick top slabs, we're going to place down one more polished black stone top slab, and we're going to then place down 2 stone buttons coming out to the sides here, like so, of that. And that's where we're going to stop for the main rotors for right now, because we do have the 2 different configurations of the in-flight blades and also the kind of weighted blades for the landed version. So we're going to go and leave that as is for the front, or for the main rotor there, and we're going to come back to that a little bit later. Going ahead and moving back to the tail here, we're going to go and go to this section, and we're going to go and place down a stone block. That's going to go on top of this one, followed by a second stone block, and then a andesite wall here on the back, like so. After that, we're going to place down their andesite wall here, a stone block, and we're going to place down their stone block that goes back like so. We're going to place down an item frame, or an iron trapdoor on both sides of this stone block here, and then using our debug stick again, we can go ahead and also select this so that it is going to be open, slow like this, so it closes up against the side of the block like that. We then want to go ahead and grab our skeleton skulls. We're going to place down 2 skeleton skulls. Actually, sorry, 1 skeleton skull coming off this stone brick wall here on the side, and then over here on the right side, 2 skeleton skulls, like so. We then want to go to the top here. We're going to place down a iron trapdoor on top of this stone block here, and then a skeleton skull that's going to go on top of this stone block right here. Now to the side here for the tail rotor, we're going to go and grab ourselves a polished black stone wall. Place it to the side here like so, followed by a black shulker block, or sorry, we're just going to use a black block of netherite on the side here. So like this. And after we get to this point here, we then want to go ahead and grab ourselves a polished black stone button, some black stone walls, and a brick wall. And we're going to place down our polished black stone button coming off that. And then coming off the sides here, going up at an angle here, we're going to place down a polished black stone wall, and then a brick wall like this going up at an angle here to both sides here to go ahead and start to form our tail rotor. So just like this, go into all 4 corners from the block of netherite. So just like that, and that right there will basically create your tail rotor for the aircraft. And once we have that all done there, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for what we have here. We'll also take a dark oak sign and place it down on this andesite wall like that for the front there. But other than that, that's going to pretty much do it for our final layers here, layers 9 through 11. And at this point here, we're going to go and move into our 2 different configurations for the blades. So we have the kind of in-flight version, which has the blades extended, and then we also have the landed version. So I'll be covering how to do both those. We'll be starting with the in-flight one, so you can go ahead and look at the video description for the timestamps to go ahead and skip ahead to wherever you want to, whichever version you want to build, or you know, whatever. We're going to be going to start with the in-flight ones, and we're going to move on to the landed ones after those are done. Anyways, that right there is going to do for that. Let's go ahead and move into the 2 different configurations for the rotor blades. Alright guys, so going ahead and move it into the rotor blades. Now the rotor blades here are pretty straightforward to do. They're nothing too complex and should be pretty easy. But to go ahead and to get started with here, we're going to be going ahead and going to this polished blackstone top slab. We're going to go and count to the side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then a birchwood top slab like this, followed by a skeleton skull. We then want to take our polished blackstone slabs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. and then we're going to place down 2 wither skeleton skulls, just like that. So that's going to be our first blade there, pretty simple. And then our next blade here, going back, we're going to go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Birchwood top slab, skeleton skull, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Polished blockstone slabs, and then 2 wither skeleton skulls. If your trapdoor does open, you can change this daylight detector here, or you can't really do that. You can go and replace this with a dark oak wood trapdoor if need be, so that you can close it like so. That's a option for you guys there, but whatever works for you guys in that situation. It's kind of dumb how Minecraft works sometimes with that kind of stuff, but yeah, you'll just have to replace that trapdoor or do something to figure that out. Anyways, continuing on, we're going to then take our polished blackstone top slabs. Again, this rotor here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Birchwood slab, skeleton skull, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 slabs, and then 2 wither skeleton skulls. And then for our last final blade, we're just going to go and take our polished blackstone. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 out to the side here, so just like I've been doing. And then we're going to place down a birchwood slab, skeleton skull, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 2 skeleton skull, or 2 wither skeleton skulls down like that. And once you have that all complete there, that's going to pretty much wrap up for our in-flight rotors. As you can see, pretty straightforward design, nothing too complex for them, and pretty easy altogether. Anyways, that right there is going to do it for the in-flight ones. Let's go ahead and move into the landed ones. Alright guys, so going ahead and move into our landed rotors. For landed rotors here, we're going to be going ahead and go into this polished blackstone top slab, and we want to go ahead and count 4 out to the side here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 polished blackstone top slabs, and then we're going to place down 2 coming off this, the final 2, and then 2 wither skeleton skulls coming off the first 2. We're going to go ahead and drop down to half slabs, and we're going to do basically 2 rows of 5 of half slabs coming out to the side there. We're going to go ahead and then drop down again to a row of 2, or basically 2 rows of 3 of polished blackstone top slabs. We're going to then drop it down again to 2 rows of 2 of polished blackstone slabs, and we're going to then place down a birchwood slab here, and then a skeleton skull, just like that, come off that birchwood slab. We're going to then go to the front blade and do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 in the last one, 2 wither skeleton skulls, and then we're going to just go ahead and drop down to our 2 rows of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to drop down again to a top, or to 2 top slabs, 2 rows of 3. Drop down again to 2 rows of 2. And then a birchwood slab here, and then a skeleton skull like that. Our next row here, this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4 out to the side, or 1, 2, 3 out to the side. Or no, sorry, 4, and then 2 polished blackstone top slabs, 2 wither skeleton skulls. Drop down, we have our 2 rows of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have our 2 rows of 5 there. We're going to then drop down again. Have our 2 rows of 3 of top slabs. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Drop down again, our 2 rows of 2. So like this. Birchwood slab. Skeleton skull come off the birchwood slab. And then our last blade back here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4. Going back, 2 top slabs, and our 2 wither skeleton skulls here. If your trapdoor does act up on the bottom here, you can use a debug stick to manually close it, or you can just place down a dark oak trapdoor. Either one will work there for the bottom. Anyways, continuing on, we're going to then drop down to our 2 rows of 5 top slabs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop down again. We have our 2 rows of 3 of top slabs, and drop down again. We have our 2 rows of 2 top slabs like this, a birchwood top slab, and then a wither skeleton skull there to the side. And anyways, that right there is going to do it for your landed rotors. This is what it should look like from up above here. And again, pretty simple, straightforward design, nothing too complex for those. Anyways, so you have both your landed and in-flight rotors, and with that, we're going to go ahead and now move into how to go ahead and go about adding the camouflage to the aircraft. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and move into doing the camouflage for the aircraft. Now I'm not going to do the entire aircraft in the camouflage scheme because it's something I feel is not completely necessary. I'm sure you guys can go about doing it yourself, but I'm just going to show you the general idea, concept about you want to go when you design this. To go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and find a starting point. So for this point here, we're just going to start at our nose. We want to go ahead and replace our green stained glass panes here with our gray stained glass panes with green, and we also want to replace the blocks behind them to keep that green consistent color. And we're just going to kind of have this flow up into the side of the aircraft here. And we'll go ahead and grab ourselves some mossy cobblestone walls as well, which we'll be using on the side here. Again, we'll replace this block here, but we're just going to kind of have this like flow up into the cockpit section of our aircraft. So right in this area and right here. So we're going to replace our stairs here with dark oak wood, kind of keep that kind of earthy tone color to it. We'll have it kind of move up into this section here, and we can even change out our banners here on the aircraft as well to basically mimic the color change into the actual braces of the helicopter. So we'll kind of do something like this, and you can kind of mix and match them so we can kind of have our stripe run all the way up there and not actually affect the entire bracing for the window system. So we kind of leave something like this in our stairs, so we can have that green that kind of flows up into the top section here. We'll replace this green block like so, and put a dark oak wood pressure plate on top here, our dark oak wood trapdoors. And again, you can kind of build whatever you want here. I'm just kind of showing you guys a general idea to do it. And we're going to have this kind of wrap around to the air side. So we'll kind of have these two banners here with green. And we can also do this one as well if we wanted to. But you can kind of see, you can kind of mix and match the banners. You can change them to green and stuff like that to kind of keep that authentic kind of look to the camouflage. We'll have this kind of drop down into this section here of the aircraft. Kind of flow in like this. And as you can see, I'm just kind of doing it randomly. Make sure any buttons you delete on accident or anything like that, you go ahead and replace. Very important, as we don't want to lose those little details. But you can see I'm just kind of taking it, wrapping it around the aircraft, not doing anything super crazy with it. And it's overall just kind of a simple camouflage design here. And as you can see, I'm just swapping out the blocks that we have and kind of switching them for blocks that work better for the camouflage type pattern. And you can see it really works, kind of creating a nice little design here. And we do have a lot of gray up here in the nose, so we're going to go ahead and try to fix that a little bit. We don't have to do anything too crazy with the nose here. Like, we can just put a little bit of green in. You know, we don't have to go too crazy. And our goal here is to not really a 50-50. I think these helicopters typically had more gray on them. But we want maybe about a 60-30 or something along those sides, along those lines there. Maybe about a 40-60 would probably be more accurate. But just kind of keeping a little bit of green in there. Probably majority of it being the stone color. But you can see it kind of wraps around here and kind of stops. And you don't have to have it wrap fully around. You can have this kind of maybe just do... Maybe it's just a little splotch right here. So it just kind of wraps around this section here. And we can have a section back here that maybe starts from the underside and wraps around. So again, it's kind of up to you guys on doing the camouflage. You can kind of do it however you guys really want. And really that's kind of the nice thing about this camouflage is, you know, you're not kind of stuck doing a certain type of pattern or anything like that. Because really it's just kind of wrapping green around the aircraft to kind of, I guess, give it some camouflage. I don't know. I don't know the purpose of it, but it looks cool. It looks really cool at least. I do really like this color scheme for the United Kingdom helicopters, kind of during that Cold War type period. But yeah, pretty good stuff. And you can kind of see the general idea for it. Nothing too crazy. Make sure the banners here, if you do delete them, you know, make sure you replace them. And again, you can do the same thing with the banner trick here. Kind of switching the brace around the windows out for green wherever you may need it. And that's kind of the general idea behind it. Again, the letters on here on the back, you can go ahead and, you know, have green in the tail here, tail section, all that stuff. You can put some green in there and kind of mix it all together. But you can get some really cool designs here with the camouflage. I definitely recommend doing it, as the kind of monotone color is pretty lame, I think, and the camouflage here really just kind of sprucens up the aircraft altogether. But that's basically a general idea of how to go about adding the camouflage, and I'll leave it up to you guys to kind of go further with it. You can look at my model in the beginning to kind of copy it if you want to, or you can just do your own camouflage. Definitely recommend, if you're doing a lot of these in one area, to kind of do some different stuff here with the camouflage and kind of randomize it up and all that stuff. But for the most part, that's going to pretty much wrap up my tutorial here for the Westland Wessex HC.2. Hope you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put it to good use. If you do use this build, I do ask you guys give me proper credit for it. This will be linked from the the build, link to my channel or this video. If this does appear on any social media sites, as long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free to use it for a project you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. Again, a big special thanks to Patreon supporter BrickBros 2016 for making this tutorial possible. With that though, let's go, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Guard 204, and I'll see you guys next time.